By like the fourth pop-up, we had a line down the street.
Proudly Serving started with Matt flipping burgers on his driveway. Let's go backstage.
My name is Matt McIvor. I am the owner of Proudly Serving. We've been open for about 6 years now. It all started in my driveway during COVID. My wife and I, we ran our own public relations marketing firm directly in the hospitality space. We've worked with over 100 restaurants, chefs, bars, breweries, doing exactly sort of what I'm doing now for Proudly Serving, getting the word out, doing all of our marketing, social media. I'm creating the menu as well, so I'm kind of a jack of all trades. I always wanted to open up my own restaurant prior to COVID. I had this yearning to open up my own place. I opened up another restaurant right before COVID with a couple friends. It was a Mexican style restaurant. It was my first venture to having ownership and sort of my own restaurant. That was super exciting, but it was only 6 months prior to COVID. We weren't paying each other yet. It wasn't really like blossoming. It was doing really well, but it wasn't there. So when COVID hit, I was like, you know what? I have to go back and focus on my public relations firm to make sure that survives, because it's my only real income. I knew the longer COVID went on, that was just not gonna suffice, because all of our clients were dropping us. They didn't really need PR during COVID. And I was like, you know what? I really need to start thinking of my next venture. That's when I started making burgers in my driveway. We created this little bubble during COVID with my neighbors and my friends. We would just like kind of cook every night for each other. And one night I just decided to make smash burgers for the very first time, and everyone loved them. I did it again for my neighbors. Again, absolutely loved them. So I was like, all right, let's buy a real griddle, set up in the driveway, and start having a little pop-up.
If you're enjoying these interviews, please remember to like and subscribe.
I really need to make sure I'm confident in the product before I give it to a stranger. So I went through this R&D session for like a month and a half, perfecting our signature burger, which is the PS burger. I needed it to have a specific flavor profile, a mix between this burger I grew up eating in New Jersey, where I'm from, which has onions in it, and a smash burger like that was from LA. And I wasn't gonna sell it to a stranger until I hit it. And probably after about the 15th attempt is when I truly bit into it. And I was like, that is what I'm looking for. It took me like 5 different pickles to find the right flavor profile, the right ounces of meat to make sure the mouthfeel felt right. Like a smash burger with a single patty, there's way too much bread and other ingredients that the burger itself gets lost. I decided to do a double patty. How thin the onions were, the right American cheese. People think like American cheese like this trash cheese, you can find a really bad one, like the one that starts with a K that you find like in the individual wrappers, or you can go find real American cheese. Making the right sauce, it took me a few attempts to get our special sauce perfect, and then the right bread. I knew right out of the gate that I wanted to use Martin's potato rolls, because being originally from the East Coast, that's what I grew up using, and I always knew that would be a perfect bun for a smash burger. All those elements went into those 15 attempts of getting that burger down. I wasn't gonna do a pop-up without like a full brand. Again, growing up in New Jersey, it's the diner capital of the world. I spent my youth eating at diners 3 to 4 times a week. There's probably like 2 to 3 diners in every town. And what diners are, they're very simple food. And it almost seems like every diner I would go into, they would all have a similar marketing gimmick. Proudly serving boar's head meat, or proudly serving whatever coffee. But I always just saw those 2 words together my entire life. When I started thinking of the name, it didn't come to me right away. All of a sudden, I'm just like on my computer, and boom, came back into my head, because I was thinking of what Proudly Serving is. It's burgers. It's very simple food. It's a very blue collar cuisine. That's exactly what diners are. The name Proudly Serving is really an homage to my upbringing in New Jersey. Once it popped up in my head, I was like, there's no going back. It's Proudly Serving. Once I had the name down, the color scheme, the logo, created the Instagram account, now it's real. Now I can officially pop up. From there, I went on Facebook groups, the Nextdoor app, our Instagram, and just said, hey, I'm having my first pop-up in my driveway. Come through. But stand 6 feet apart, wear your mask, all the typical like, you know, COVID lingo. We had like maybe like 30 people show up the first time. Right before I was closing up that first pop-up, when a stranger made it a point to come back and was like, yo, that was one of the best burgers I've ever had. That gave me the confidence to say, all right, now this is like real. I can really like sink my teeth into this, no pun intended. By like the 4th pop-up, we had a line down the street. After that, I was like, you know what, I need to get out of my driveway now. Now I need to go like show the world what this is all about. From my PR days, I had a lot of contact at breweries and bars. I just hit them up and I was like, yo, I got this pop-up thing going. Would you be down if I set up shop at your brewery, outside your bar? And they were like, hell yeah, let's do it. Everyone was really supporting each other. At that time, everyone wanted to, you know, obviously survive. So whatever they thought they can do to help their business and collaborate, we did. It was me and whatever friends would help me just like make the fries or like put the burgers together. I was always on the griddle. My very first pop-up was like the end of September 2020 in my driveway. And by probably early 2021 is when I was full-fledged popping up all over LA. Probably like 3 to 4 times a week. I'm somebody who has a lot of drive and I always want to be bigger and better. I would always just reach out to places. I would call places that had a kitchen that maybe wasn't being utilized. Somebody reached out to us, was like, hey, we have a bar that has a kitchen that's not being utilized. Would you want to come on like permanently? So we did that in Redondo Beach on the pier. And that's where we kind of created this foundation. That's where our customer base, fan base really started to like thrive. We were still sharing a space. Then I was like, you know what? Now I need my own space. Proudly Serving needs its own home. So one day driving home, I saw an iconic casual restaurant that was up for sale. I didn't think we really had the funds or the means to go into our own space at that time, but I called the realtor anyway. He gave me the numbers and I reached out to my old restaurant contacts and I was like, hey, do you think this is possible? They were like, go for it. That was definitely scary. It was definitely an excited nervousness opening up that first brick and mortar in Hermosa Beach. I knew having our own space was the way to go. Our brand took on a life of its own and it needed its own home. About a year after someone reached out, hey, we have another location. We were doing well in Hermosa that we felt, yeah, we can do well a few miles down the road. We were kind of like bursting at the seams that we just naturally needed another location. I was able to get in touch with actually a former client of mine. He helped me open up the second location, then this location. That's how our relationship is now. I think this is a brand and a concept and the quality of food can work anywhere. My biggest aspiration is getting into LA. And then from there, you know, Orange County, San Diego, I want to keep going and building the brand and getting it out there. I never in my wildest dreams growing up thought I'd ever own my own business. Never thought I'd ever be in hospitality. This has completely changed my perspective. Now I feel like I was born to do it. I can't see myself doing anything else besides being in hospitality and making people happy. I'm somebody who is always thinking of what we can do next. We basically have our normal menu, which you see up there, and then a special almost every month, whether it's something that we just do and have fun with it, like the Big Matt, or we'll collaborate with somebody else, another chef, skateboarder, a musician. We always need to be doing something different. I can't sit still. I've never wanted that McDonald's style fry, the very thin fry that's sort of bland and flavorless. I think too many people think of fries as like an afterthought. I wanted our fries to stand up alongside the burger. I wanted it to be just as good. So I like a thicker fry. These fries just happen to be flour coated and beer battered. Once they come out of the fryer, we put them in a bowl, salt, duck fat, toss them. That's what sets them apart. Every single element of a restaurant is insanely hard. Employees, paperwork, customers. This is probably one of the hardest fields to be involved in. It's just, it never ends. It never turns off. It's 24/7. It also makes it very rewarding at the same time. At the end of the day, people can go anywhere and get a decent burger. You really have to create this environment that people want to keep coming back to. And that's with the food quality, the culture, the atmosphere, the hospitality. All of that creates that environment where people want to continue coming back. We are nothing without our customer base, without the community. When someone comes up to me randomly and says they love what I'm doing, that means the absolute world. I might not be like very attentive because I'm running around and I'm just saying thank you, and I'll still take a few minutes afterwards and really try to retain that. Having a place that is a good environment for our employees, to me, is a super special thing, and I want to continue to be a place where people want to work.
If you can give advice to any young person wanting to open up a restaurant, what advice would you give this young person?
I would say have the proper capital going into it, because that's very stressful when you're sort of just like living paycheck to paycheck or just waiting on customers to come in to help you survive, and really understand every single element that goes into restaurant life. A long time ago, someone said, restaurants are incredible because anybody can open up one. You don't need a bachelor's degree. You don't need years of experience. You really need money to open up a restaurant. But the worst things about restaurants is that anybody can open up a restaurant. And that's when you see so many people fail, because people just think, I love food, I can open up a restaurant. And then they realize 3 months in, what did I get myself into? You can love food all you want, but you have to understand the ins and outs of operating a restaurant. It is not easy. Do your homework and really have a game plan going in.
I'm back at Proudly Serving, and this time I ordered the original PS burger, the monthly special called the Big Matt, and a side of duck fat tater tots. First up, the original PS burger, the 15th variation Matt created before finally landing on the recipe. It comes with pickles, their secret sauce, and onions smashed right into the double beef patties. Every bite has the perfect balance of ingredients, exactly how Matt envisioned it. Next is the Big Matt. This double-decker comes stacked with 2 beef patties, melted cheese, shredded lettuce, secret sauce, all on a toasted sesame seed bun. It's an absolute monster of a burger. The moment you take that first bite, your first thought is, this is what a Big Mac should taste like. It's messy in the best possible way, so make sure you've got plenty of napkins nearby. I've had plenty of tater tots before, but never tossed in duck fat. It gives them an extra richness that pairs perfectly with their crispy, salty exterior. They're absolutely delicious, although I give a slight edge to the duck fat fries I had on my last visit. If you're looking for gourmet smash burgers packed with huge flavor, Proudly Serving is definitely a spot you need to check out.
I love supporting small businesses and sharing their stories. Go show them some love. Their info's in the description below. If I've earned your support, please consider subscribing. Drop a comment if you know a small business with a story worth sharing. In the meantime, check out one of these videos, or this one, to learn a bit more about me. See you in the next one.